Hey, we are live and we got another episode for y'all. A returning guest, fellow Twitch FIFA streamer here in Cali, Valhalla Revenant. How we doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. How you doing, Koballa?
Doing good, man. Just chilling for the day. Um, but I'm glad we're able to set this up again.
Oh,
I know
so
you.
excited.
Yeah, definitely. I know you had some assignments. You got schoolwork. How's the school going for you?
School's going good so far. It's one class is a little fast paced, it's my psychology class, but the rest are pretty, pretty at an average pace, I should say. I'm able to do what I kind of need to do day by day. I kind of have a
Hmm.
schedule set up for myself.
Yeah.
Uh, Only got to go to campus for one class, and that would be math, which is pre-calculus mixed with college algebra.
Hmm.
And I have to go to that twice a week. But all my homework, tests, and stuff like that is mostly done online, which is pretty nice because that's not much. I don't have to deal with a lot of paperwork. Don't have to worry about miss uh, losing my assignments, I should say.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And then
Hmm.
um, so that's probably one of the easier classes. And the other three classes I do, they're all online. There's no lecture or anything. It's all basically like I read over books and stuff like that, just self-taught.
Yeah. Okay. We have Kane Sauce in the chat. What's up, Kane? He said this is the episode that he's been waiting for. So I'm
Oh,
glad.
is it now?
Yeah, I'm glad. We're here to
Mr.
deliver.
Sauce.
Kane, our guy, man. Um, so then, would you rather go to school, like actually go in person, as opposed to doing more like
So,
remote work?
yes and no. So, no, because say like my math class and my psychology class, I think my psychology class I would rather do like in a classroom because
Mm-hmm.
like it's fast paced and it'd be a lot helpful to actually have like a teacher, helping you with helping you and all that kind of stuff because there's so many terms and there's so much information that you have to read on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But the teacher luckily gives us a slideshow presentation of like their key notes on the chapter that we're reading. But with the exams that we have to do, there's information in the exams that aren't covered in the notes that she gives us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like for those two, yes, I would say be on campus. But for my other two, honestly, it's a lot easier going over in computer because it's all computer based.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot easier being at home doing it and because it's so computer based, both of them are widely used for the computer for the A plus class being, computer networking, fixing a computer, being a tech, and all that kind of stuff, along with my computer information system management. It's all based off of, what business can you do with Excel, Microsoft Word, all the functions that you can use with the computer that can help you business wise, management wise, and all the, fun stuff that goes into that.
Right. So it's been a couple of years since you've been in school, right? How's it feel to be back in school?
Oh my, it's weird. It's weird because I'm going back to the same community college that I tried to start before I
Okay.
joined the military.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first joined that I was 18, fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
You know, Everyone's around, my age.
Mm-hmm.
But now, five, no, yeah. So let's see. I joined when I was 20, so I did about a year and a half of college before. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
20 and 5 years later I'm 25 and the math class I have to go on campus for and I just see everyone in my class. I just feel like I'm twice everyone's age. I feel so old compared,
Uh-huh.
even though I'm probably like only maybe 6, 7 years older than, maybe some of the kids in the class at least. But, I got a good 5 years on all of them, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm just double their age. I just feel so old around them. It's just not, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, that's what happens with like some people that served in the military, like straight after high school, they serve for like 4 years and then they want to go back to school. So they're like a lot older than some of these
Yeah,
kids fresh off of high school, right?
yeah, that's the it's just the weird feeling you
Right.
get, but it's not something I'm not used to.
Uh huh.
Like I'm used to working with younger people just because in the military you always have new people coming in.
Uh huh.
You have new people coming in, old people going out,
Yeah.
and over the years after once I hit my fourth year, people like the new OSs that I was going to be working with, they're coming in at like 19, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 19, 18 years old. These are kids being born after the year 2000, after 2001, after 9/11,
Hmm.
and it like then it like working with them, it's like oh my god, it's you guys are a handful because it's a different generation,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna say not all of them were as annoying, but my consensus is like the generation coming after 2001, they were more of a handful than I think we are, I should say.
Hmm.
But luckily, I'm not having to work with these kids. I just have to stand in the same room as them.
Right. Hmm. So what made you want to study like coding or like cybersecurity specifically? Or that, yeah.
Like that kind of area.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've always kind of been intrigued by coding and I don't want to say hacking, but like just like that kind of mindset of how much you can do with a computer and with like you don't need high quality as you do to actually like hack a system or to code something properly for like an app or a web page. But it's just the fact that the language of coding is different for depending on what kind of software not software processor you kind of use because you can use different coding languages for different softwares that you can use. But along with like coding, you have firewall systems and everything else that goes into it with which goes into cybersecurity. And cybersecurity, it's not just dealing with ones and twos, ones and zeros. It's dealing with depending if you're actually working with the government, you know, keeping others out of the system, like making sure your network is up to date with with firewalls and stuff like that. So not not anyone can just hack the network and get whatever files they need out of your system.
Yeah, for sure. Sniper's in the chat. What's up, Sniper?
That should be Callum.
Callum? What's up,
Yeah.
Callum? No, that's interesting, and like I know like coding and cybersecurity, it's like it really is like the industry, like one of the most popular industries. Like that's what's driving our society, like technology.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah,
technology, like with one of my classes, my computer management class,
yeah,
it's one of the things in this chapter that we're reading is the advancement from the first gen ever made computers to what we're using nowadays, from first gen to fifth gen, everything in between, and how much we've grown technology wise when it's come to the first gen computer being so unreliable, so bulky, so non really very efficient, to the fifth generation we have now, which is becoming more expensive, of course, because as we're evolving technology getting better, and the better technology gets, the more expensive it gets. But how they're using a nano chip that is literally one thousandth of like an inch or a centimeter or something like that, how small it is compared to the processors, the hard drives that they're having to use in the first generation were just so big, bulky, and everything would just overheat.
right.
And how like now we have laptops, portable computers, touch screens, and everything in between.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a huge drastic improvement in a short period of time.
Mhm.
In terms of hardware, software, it's crazy. It's
and
insane.
all
Yeah.
it's because it's the first built made computer was back in, I think it said 1934. We've made these advancements in less than 100 years,
Hmm.
technically less than 90 years because of everything that was already being done by 2010, 2009.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I think I went to like a computer history museum in the Bay Area. So I
Mhm.
saw kind of like the history of where technology started and then where it is now. It's like it's crazy like where
Mhm.
we come from. And like you had these like huge like supercomputers like back then that were like massive, but then
Yeah,
now you could just use a phone, a phone could is a high
a, f-
functioning.
a, f- a phone can do
Yeah,
more than a second gen computer could.
right. It's crazy. It's crazy what
Mhm.
technology does and where it's come. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
Dylan's in the chat right now. What's up, Dylan?
it's computers are amazing, and another part of what I'm learning is there's five in the world there's 500 technical supercomputers, which are, I'm assuming, computers that are the fastest kind of are the fastest computers that can handle the most kind of information in the world.
Mm,
And China has 250, 225, 230, I believe, of these actual supercomputers out of 500. But in the US, we have five of the top 10 fastest supercomputers in the
mm,
world.
yeah.
And we have first and second fastest in the world as well, which
Hmm.
is amazing. And I'm gonna deep dive probably more into the supercomputers to see just how amazing the technology has gone into these to make them, you know, out of 500, like the 500 best out of all the computers in the world.
Imagine if you just had a supercomputer like in your room and then you use it to like stream. You're like underusing it, right?
That would be massive underusage, I believe, because I believe a supercomputer can handle just so much more than like using it to using probably a percentage of it to
Hmm.
stream and just things like that. Like you'd probably be able to stream at the fastest pace, the best frame, everything.
You could
I
probably
believe.
do like multiple streams, like
Oh, most
multiple webcams,
likely.
right? That'd be
Mhm.
that'd be insane. What's up, Jennifer? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the podcast. Um, but yeah, that'd be crazy. I imagine if you had one of those things and then you're just doing like multiple streams, like
I
so many
The
things
funniest
going
thing,
on.
I believe supercomputers are more than just computer based. I feel like they're computer based, but they're hooked up to like a massive server as well, like a
Right.
whole server room
Yeah.
dedicated to it, so it can run
Sure.
that quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When it comes to technology specific to gaming, like it's crazy to see like even just I would say a little over 20 years ago you had like a Super Nintendo, right, with the cartridges,
Mm.
right? And you
Yeah,
hook it up
the
to the TV, but now it's like everything's wireless and
mhm. we've and it's
yeah.
it's funny because I started with the PlayStation 1,
Uh-huh.
and you needed a memory card so you could save everything. Nothing could be like hard saved to the console itself. You needed a memory card. And if you ran out of space on it, you either had to delete or, use a different one. And it's just amazing because the like you said, like the Nintendo 64 and all those consoles that were were coming out about 20, 30 years ago, they were small. They weren't big.
Mm-hmm.
They were small, you know, pretty I would say they were pretty light. But, along with all those, before we had consoles, they were like arcade joysticks that you could hook up to your TV back then.
Right.
And before that, it's just whatever you could play at the arcade.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's so crazy how far we've come along and now we're in this place where we could stream our games with like
Mm.
webcams and we have all these mics and high-tech equipment. And now like us, we're just streaming FIFA.
Well, I haven't really been playing FIFA much
Okay.
because FIFA is I for FIFA 22 I just have no more joy in it because it's very
Sure.
repetitive
Yeah.
and most 90% of the people who play are just the ones who just can't give up FIFA, I would
Mm-hmm.
assume. Like they just want to play and play till the very end to where FIFA 23 is out and then they make the switch. For me though, it's like I try to play it, but it's like the gameplay is just so dead.
Yeah.
Everyone plays about the same and it just gets boring and everyone's
Right.
still super try hardy. No one's like, it's the end of FIFA, guys. It's the end of FIFA. Have fun with the team. Make something that doesn't have 100 chem. Do something fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I've made a team, but I mean most of the players are in their positions, but the other players aren't. And I was using that team for the preseason cup where you have max 100 chem. So like, why not? Like with that, make whatever team you want. Why go with something sweaty? Why not build something fun, something that you've never tried or never thought of? Cards that you've been wanting to try that you have just sitting in your club, but you're not going to use because you have this card instead, like a Footy's Neymar, Footy's Dembele, Footy's Varane.
Yeah.
All the Footy's cards that have come out that are 99s and are just super overpowered.
Mm-hmm. Sniper saying, "Don't hate the game, hate the player." I thought it was the other way around.
Don't have to play hit the well for FIFA it can be taken either way. Like
Okay.
sometimes you're having a bad day and you just can't get anything going, and then other days it's like purely game based. It's RNG, and you just feel like you're playing so much better than the other person, but the game is just against you.
Mm-hmm. We got Wilson saying here, we got two good-looking dudes in the podcast. What's up, Wilson? Appreciate you being here. Yeah. So actually, before we go more into FIFA, how's the streaming been? Because the last time we talked, you just turned affiliate, and I know since then you've grown a lot. Your viewership has been growing. I feel like things have really been turning up for you. So maybe you could share a little bit about that.
So yeah, last time we talked, I just hit affiliate like the week
Yeah.
before. I think we did the first podcast, and
Right.
thanks to you guys, like you, Longshot, Weddle, Johnny Cheesy, like all you guys were supporting me, helping me out, getting me the followers, and helping me get the viewers. Where nowadays it's actually no, I shouldn't talk about now yet.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, like you guys helped me out, you guys got me affiliate in literally like a month of streaming, where it takes some people months, maybe a
Right.
year to even reach affiliate because they're finding it very difficult to get the viewers, to get the followers.
Right.
And definitely getting the viewer average is the biggest pain
Mm-hmm.
because you have to go multiple streams with at least getting three to four viewers. And if you're not getting it, it's rough.
Right.
It's rough because you're just grinding day in, day out to try and get that viewer average.
Yeah.
But once we got affiliate, I had this massive, relief of all right, thank God, I finally got this affiliate. I don't have to worry about my average anymore. I can just stream, be myself no matter what. And then I think a month or two after that, I had to leave where I was due to financial problems that were, I hate to say it, that weren't not specifically 100% my fault, but I definitely could have done better money wise. But one of my ex roommates that left me and my roommate back in January this year hosed us on rent and took some of our money instead of paying rent 2 months.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that fucked us a
Yeah.
lot to where we didn't know until a month before I left Virginia
Mm-hmm.
that we have accumulated some of the debt with the apartment complex and they weren't going to allow us to stay there anymore because of how much we owed due to the fact that he screwed us on rent.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. So still trying to get that sorted. So.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But that's what forced my move out here to California.
Got it.
to move back home with my parents, who were ever so happy to see me come back,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy to be home too.
Yeah.
And then there was a month and a half period to where I did not stream one bit
Yeah.
because I didn't have I couldn't set myself up. I didn't have good enough internet, and it was just a month and a half of a dead period to where I was, I'm not accumulating any follows. I'm not doing anything to help myself, stay relevant. But start of, I think, second week July 13th, July 14th, I come back streaming. I hit like first stream out of like a month, almost 2 months, I believe, of not streaming at all. I do like, I think, a Thursday or a Friday stream, and then I do weekendly, take a Sunday off. I do basically the rest of July, but don't do any Sundays. And I just mass accumulate. I'm keeping followers, I'm getting viewers. And then, at the end of July, I got good traction, doing everything I need to do. And then I look at my numbers after July, once we hit August, and I noticed that I hit about 2 goals in less than a month. I got about 87 followers. My average viewers are going up. I'm getting almost double digits almost every stream, and it was good. Everything is kind of like falling into place, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But as of recently, I'm in a bit of a rough patch right now. Like, I'm not always getting that double digit views, but it's okay. It is what it is. Like, I'm not doing this for viewership. I'm not doing this for like followers. I'm doing this because streaming is fun. Streaming is honestly a hobby. I'm not doing it as a job. I'm doing it because it's a great way to meet new people that you think that you would never, meet in the world. And, sometimes you meet somebody that's actually really close to you that, like, oh, and like, oh shit, like, you actually right there. Let's hang out sometime. Let's fucking link up,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. Even after the month and a half break, like you still managed to have like a lot of followers and the viewership was double digits. That's actually really good considering the fact that even like when people take breaks, it kind of hurts them a little bit, where it kind of drops in the viewership. But I mean, you managed to do really well, and it seems like even now, I mean, you're still streaming and a lot of people are still coming through and supporting you.
Yeah. Also, I mean, while I wasn't streaming, I was in different streams, but I was in them constantly. And, I was becoming friends with the streamers, friends with the people that were in chats. And I believe that kind of helped me when I got back to streaming because, they, they were kind of coming in watching. I've gotten a few raids from them, and, three of them have been massive because one of them, Spaghetti Legs,
Mm-hmm.
he started like a few months ago, I believe, a few months ago, maybe 2, 3 months ago. And he was instantly like popular. He was hitting off on follows. His streams were really good, and he was keeping it to about 15 to 20 viewers efficiently, like
Yeah.
almost every stream after a month. And I'm like, wow, this guy's doing really well. I became friends with him. I became friends with another streamer, Hezi. He's really big, and another streamer, Sarah FC. They're both popping off. Hezi just reached 2,300 followers total, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and Sarah is popping off to about 1,500, I believe now.
Nice. Very
Like, they're
nice.
both going massive, and
Yeah.
Hezi took a massive break too. And like, just like you were saying, breaks can kind of like hinder a streamer. So for him, it was rough for him for a little bit, but he's got that traction again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just want to point out one thing that Jennifer said. She said in the chat, she said, Steven is awesome, doing fantastic. He's got a great sense of humor. We can only help and support Valhalla as much as we can. We are here and we will always be here. I feel like I should point that out since it was a very nice thing for Jennifer to say.
She's always saying those kind of things, and it honestly, it's always good to hear something like that. It really is.
Yeah. No,
Whether you're hearing
absolutely.
it once a week or even every day, no matter what, it always can put a smile on anyone's face, knowing they have that kind of support.
Yeah. Going back to your point, yeah, like you said during your break, I would agree too that if you're active in other people's streams and they know you're a streamer, but you're always engaged and active in other people,
Mhm.
um, when you come back, they know you're a streamer, so maybe they'll raid you or they'll come through and support
Mhm.
you. So I think that's good that you did that, and I'm sure you just did it because you enjoy being in their streams and all that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're fun. They're fun. I kind of find I somehow have an act for when it comes to trying to find streamers who are like have a good personality. I tend to find them just randomly, or luckily, like either you or Johnny or Longshot raid them, and I kind of like most of the time when it comes to raids, like if I don't really like the streamer, I stick around for maybe 5-10 minutes after,
Yeah.
and then I'll dip to like either like say if you're streaming, I'll dip into your channel
Yeah.
or something like that. But when it comes to streamers that I try to find myself, their personalities are lively, like they're not dull. They try to always communicate with the chat as much as possible. And they're not really afraid to like be themselves. They're not trying to pretend to be someone else. They're who they are. And that's
Yeah.
what you get.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so are there like other streamers that you enjoy watching that you've been like just tuning into recently?
Uh Decampion is one of
You
them.
can't be okay.
I haven't watched much of him, but I find myself in his stream sometimes and he has a loud personality. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of them. Trying to think of others, but nothing's really popping in my mind right now. No, not a lot of new people that I've been watching recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sniper brings up a good point. He's saying he does follow serious streamers. So do
Oh
I
wait,
too. And then like people that are really good, but he likes you. He thinks you're a better streamer because he likes your personality. Very involved in the chat.
yeah, actually, two streamers that I've been watching recently a
Yeah.
lot more. EJ Roll and It's Wilson.
Right,
I
right,
can't
right.
believe I almost forgot those two. Yeah,
Yeah.
those two and Decampion I've actually been watching a lot more, especially EJ and Wilson. Those two are fantastic to watch. They're really funny. Their personalities are great, and Wilson's a Man United fan, so big ups to that.
Yeah.
And uh, EJ is just he's he's killing it with streaming because he does TikTok
Right.
and he streams Twitch at the same time, and that's a lot to manage at once.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
his personality is just so lively, so vibrant. It's hard to like not watch the streams once you're in it.
No, for sure. Yeah, and we had EJ and Wilson on the podcast too, and they're just great guys. I had a blast just talking to them and just getting to know them. Hey, much love, Wilson and the hearts in the chat. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, so yeah, there's something to it. Like I'm sure a lot of people would watch FIFA streamers that are just really good, and they just want to see like really top tier gameplay. But there's another aspect of it where you just want to chill in the stream. You want to interact a little bit more with the streamer, and usually with small streamers, it's easier to do that, and they gravitate towards certain streamers based on their personality or how they interact with their viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think for me, I'm never top tier gameplay has never been my aspect. I'm good at FIFA. I'm
Mhm.
decent at FIFA. I'm probably in that middle ground,
Mhm.
but I'm not always gonna try to provide best gameplay that I can. I'm gonna give you what I can, but I want you to try to be there more for me than it is for the game.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I would say like I'm in the same boat too. I'm not like top tier. Like I'm decent, but what I try to provide, I try to help people out, whether it's like, team reviews, players,
Mhm.
something about SBCs. I like helping people out. I like being more interactive. I like playing pro clubs with my viewers. and just having a good time. That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm for this coming FIFA, I would hope Pro Clubs is so much better
Mhm.
because uh luckily I was able to play this FIFA 23 beta, and sadly I wasn't able to do foot. I was able to do the ultimate team until like the final week that the beta was out, and I was primarily given the Volta Pro Clubs access for the
Mhm.
whole time. And sadly, when it comes to the beta, no one really plays Volta. No one plays Pro Clubs. Everyone wants to play the Ultimate Team and how it's going to be, how the menus are going to look.
Yeah.
But not, I can't say what. Not much of the menu has changed at all. Really, the menu's about the same. I'm hoping for FIFA 23, the menus are much smoother than what they've been previous years when they've come out with new menus and such. But I feel like because they haven't really changed the menu much, the menu selection, be able to move should be a lot more smooth, fluent than FIFA 22, where it just felt like you're always 1 second behind of what you were trying to do.
Mhm. Are you on the PS5?
Still on the PS4.
Okay. I think on the PS5 it is a lot faster for Ultimate Team if you slide through the menus. But I remember when I was on PS4, there was that little bit of delay.
It's a little clunky still,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping for it to be a bit smoother, even for the old gen. I don't feel like there should be much of a difference because I
Mhm.
feel like for when it comes to the menus, you don't want either one to really be better than the other. I get it. PS5 is going to have better graphics and all that. But when it comes to the menus itself, you don't want to have one console be constantly irritated by it, but one
Right.
console be actually happy with it.
Yeah. What are some things that you're looking forward to in 23 from all the features that they released?
So, the free kick mechanics and the corner kick mechanics. I didn't
Mhm.
do much penalties, so I'm still a little. I'm gonna have to practice penalties because it's a little weird for penalties. It really throws you off a bit. So, and it's hard to discuss penalties because I only did one of them, and I
I
can't
see.
remember exactly what I had to do. It's like you have a circle on the ball and you hold circle to shoot it, but you have no indicator of where you're shooting. You're blind shooting basically. So you're either holding left, holding right, or keeping it middle.
Really? So they don't give you an option for a indicator of where you're
Not
shooting it at?
not that I saw. And I looked. I was just like, well, there's usually somewhere that can tell you indicator like, hey, down on the D-pad, you can then see your. But I didn't. Nah, I wasn't there.
Can't you change the settings for that?
I think so. I believe so, but I never had a penalty after that, so that was
Mhm.
weird. But free kicks and corner kicks, I think I'm going to enjoy a lot because what they're providing you with is you have the ball, but you also have a graph on the balls, and you can choose with the right stick where on the ball you actually want to kick it. Because depending on where you kick it, you can get more of a lob over, more curve, or do you want to be more dead accurate and
Mhm.
straight? Or do you want to go to the opposite side of the ball and use the outside of the foot and curl it in?
Mhm.
And with that kind of, and I appreciate with that kind of more specification with where you want to hit it can determine how much curve is actually on the ball, how much height you want to put on it, or how low you want to hit it to the ground or on the ground itself.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to those. The new chemistry mechanic is weird, but it's still the same as every FIFA. It's have one league, have the same nation, stuff like that, and the players are gonna be on max chem, which is 3 dots,
Right.
because you can only get max of 33 chem. Each player has 3 dots. But say, but like hybrid wise, I don't feel like you're gonna get like a full chem team unless you're using like the same players from the same club,
Mhm. Right.
like you would for FIFA 22, where you have the same club, and all of them are basically going to be on 10 chem on either side.
Right.
But for this new one, it's weird because I don't feel like they really need you to mix with chemistry at all because it's been fine.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it is a little bit confusing with the new chemistry system, but we'll see how much of an impact that does and if
Yeah.
people like it or not. I mean,
The other thing
yeah.
is the whole position changes too.
Right.
It's because some players, they only play one position, but other players, take Messi for example. He can play cam, right wing. No, he can play center forward, right wing, and right mid. So you can change his position to any of those three at any given point.
Mm-hmm.
But with Bruno Fernandez, he only plays cam, so he has no position change at all. So if he's not playing at cam, he's off cam.
Right.
So I think
Exactly.
that's a bit of a downside to it because some of these players you can change their position
Mm-hmm.
to like wherever they are on the pitch, like from right wing to left wing instead, or right back to left back, or right back to center back,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But then you have the players that can't change at all, and you want to play them in a different position than they are where they're supposed to be at, and that kind of sets you back a bit.
Yeah. J Rich says greetings from Milwaukee. um nah, it's like the positioning is pretty similar to like fantasy sports.
Yes,
You know what I
it
mean?
really
It's
is.
what it is in real life. So you could only play them on based on what positions they play.
hmm
Uh
And I do appreciate that to an extent, but when it comes to maybe basic changes wouldn't have been as bad for those players that don't have a position change. So like you can only keep them to like say the midfield. Say for Bruno, you can't make him a striker, but you can at least make him like a center mid.
yeah. So just right off the top of my head, I feel like the more value cards are gonna be the ones with multiple positions, as
Yes,
opposed to yeah,
I feel the same exactly. I feel like the cards that have those two position changes or three, or who knows, the player might have four different positions that they've played in their career. I feel like they're going to be more expensive, more valuable than the players that don't.
right. So if you have like a guy that's Bruno, like a Bruno Fernandez that can only play cam, like
hmm
he's not gonna be as high valued as as another center midfielder that could play from cam
Yeah,
to CDM. So no,
and
that's interesting. Yeah.
I feel like it will be interesting for those players though who packed that Messi early on, or packed that Mbappe, or that Neymar, one of the higher tier cards that they're going to be for this coming FIFA. And when you get the position changes, like how do you want to set up that team? Like, do you want to play Messi alongside Mbappe or anything like that? Because you can change Messi to a center forward and play him alongside Mbappe instead of having to be forced to play him to the right side of the field and be forced to change your tactics to where he's more central and not out wide.
hmm Yeah, I mean, it'll just, I think it'll be like this FIFA, there might be a bigger learning curve because they just made a lot of changes. So it's something
Mhm.
like we'll just kind of have to feed off each other and see what people do and
We'll
just figure it out.
we'll gradually kind of ease into it. Basically,
Sure.
the
Yeah.
more we do it, the better understanding we'll probably have of it.
Right, right.
And then
Mhm.
a big thing is it's going to be cross gen, of course, cross platform.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. You have any thoughts on that?
It's going to be interesting by far. It will be because you have PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, all three of
Yeah.
them now playing together. And the big concern for me is server wise because EA has never had the best server quality. Yes, we've had, depending on where you're at, you have good ping. You can have 20 ping if you're like right by a server.
Mhm.
But say if you're not, you're getting about 60 to 80 ping, even if you have the best internet. But what kind of stress are they going to be putting on the servers now that it's cross platform,
Mhm.
or not just Ultimate Team, but for pro clubs as well?
Right. Mhm. Do you think it'll be more beneficial or you think it'll hurt it more?
I think in the long run it can be beneficial, but in the short run we're gonna see how it is.
Okay.
Because like with the beta, like with FIFA 22, just playing against PlayStations, I'm getting about 20 ping on average.
Mhm.
But when it came to the beta, I was averaging 50 to 60 ping, uh, depending on what platform I was playing against.
Ah, interesting. And does it tell you which platform you're playing against in the beta?
So not initially, not when you're
Okay.
setting the game up, but when you get into the game and you see the person's username, it'll tell you if they're playing PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. It'll pop
Oh,
up with a
okay.
symbol right to the left of their to their name.
Got it. Another thing I noticed too is like with the crossplay, they only limit it to 1v1, so you can't do co-op crossplay.
Which I think is weird because like if you're allowing people to play pro clubs together, cross platform, of course,
Yeah,
why not be able to do the same thing with co-op foot?
right? Maybe it goes back, it ties into what you're just kind of saying earlier about the connection, the ping. If you play co-op with like an Xbox guy, but you're playing against like a PC or PS guy, that might mess with the connection, and the gameplay might not be as good. But I don't know too much about that.
But it's
Mm,
it's always EA always tries to bring something new into the game, and you know, FIFA becoming cross-platform was only a matter of time before they did. Whether this FIFA or next FIFA, actually, not it's not even going to be a next FIFA for
mm-hmm,
EA. Actually, it's going to be what EA FC something,
mm-hmm.
and it was just a matter of time before it was going to be cross-platform because most of the games coming out now are all coming out to be cross-platform that are multiplayer based.
Right. So, yeah, it's only a matter of time, right? I mean, finally they got it cross-platform, right?
Yeah, now me and all the others that I play with, and even Johnny, we're hoping for the next Grand Theft Auto to be cross-play as well, so that way we're not constantly having to play on PlayStation 4 version because you can't even do cross-gen with GTA.
Mm.
You can only do one generation with each. So we're hoping that the next GTA at least is cross-platform or at least cross-gen, so PlayStation 5s and PlayStation 4s can play together.
Yeah, for sure. Kane is asking how much longer will we be doing this? I would say about 30 more minutes, probably, if we're estimating, more or less. Um, and Jennifer's saying this is so cool. Yes, it's definitely cool.
This honestly, it's a lot of fun. It really is.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I always have a good time on the podcast, especially with my guy Steven here. So, are you also looking forward to the World Cup mode? I know that's like something for me too that I'm looking
Yes,
forward to.
I am looking forward to World Cup mode because I think out of all the FIFAs, I've only done it once, and that was
Yeah.
FIFA once or twice. Was it once or twice? I might have done it for FIFA 14, maybe. I don't think so. Because we go, let's see, we're 22, so FIFA 18, I did it in. Yeah, I've only done World Cup mode once, and I didn't do much of it, and I regret that. So I'm very much looking forward to this next one, along with, well, one thing I don't like about the World Cup being in the winter is that it's going to be putting a pause on all the other big football leagues,
Right.
like the Premier League. Well, honestly, it's just Premier League that I worry about because that's the one I watch the most.
Mm-hmm.
La Liga, League One, Bundesliga, all those leagues are having to stop mid-season because their players are like half of the players are going to be going out and playing in the World Cup.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So there's a downside in that it interrupts the season, but it's still the World Cup. It's like you have to
yeah,
watch it like every 4 years. Like,
of
yeah.
course. Like, I'm definitely going to watch it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting this year.
Yeah, I think like with the Euros, this was last year, right? The Euros last year when they incorporated the
Yeah.
festival cards. Like I
Oh,
actually like that promo.
that was a fun promo because like if you got any of these cards, they got better with I think it was wins overall that they got.
Right.
So like 1 win they get upgraded, 3 wins they get upgraded, 5 wins, or like if they go all the way through, they get the max upgrade they could possibly get.
Right.
And I remember my team, I had about 7 or 8 of those cards, and a few of them were, I think one of them was Verratti, you
Mm-hmm.
know, from Italy, who won it all, and I had a few of the English players as well.
Right.
And they
Like,
just like these cards just get maxed to the utmost, and it was like these cards were fun to use, but it's not like you can make them all fit into one team, which was a little difficult.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so like if they incorporate a similar type of content during World Cup, I feel like it'll be a great thing to do because I enjoyed those cards, the content,
Mhm.
and then it also got me more engaged in the actual Euros, like
Yeah,
actually watching the games and
because
yeah,
like say if you had like a player on a certain team and they were that one away from getting upgraded, like you're gonna watch that team
exactly.
like, come on, win this game, win this game.
Exactly, right? Yeah, so, something like that to get me more engaged into both the
Mhm.
game and the real life matches, I think that'd be some good content for Ultimate Team.
Yeah, it would because what you have all these teams. Take a player from each team and throw into a promo.
Mm-hmm.
That I think would be really fun.
Yeah, for sure. Are you who are you rooting for the World Cup?
So as usual, I always root for Germany because
Okay,
I am German,
okay,
but I'm also going to root for the U.S. because I am from the U.S.
right.
Born and raised U.S. Got to root for America,
Mm-hmm.
even if we don't do well. Still going to root for them.
Yeah.
I think the big ones I'm going to be rooting for is definitely Germany and definitely America. The others, kind of like just fall in place with how World Cup goes,
Mm-hmm.
basically. Because if I see an underdog team that I will like, I'm going to root for them by
For
far.
sure. It's something you'll like see along the way, right? You'll see like one of these underdog teams make it go pretty far. And well, for Germany, like do you think they have a good shot of winning it? And do you actually see some other country winning it all?
So France is by far a powerhouse team when it comes to, players in general. They have a
Yeah.
really stacked team. They have really fantastic players. It wouldn't be, dumb to say, France definitely has a chance.
Mhm.
Germany has been getting better over the past few years. They've been getting better players because, Germany 10 years ago was a powerhouse of a team, destroying Brazil 7-2 in Brazil,
Mhm.
making a mockery of the host nation.
Right.
And England is always a decent team. They're always a good shout. It's just the coach that's that coaches England, the manager there. He's the problem that apparently every English fan has with Southgate.
Mhm.
He either like he picks like that wrong player to start, or he doesn't pick up the right players for the national team, stuff like that. So England always a decent team because they do usually put up a fight no matter what, but not every game that England plays is pretty. Spain has a decent team, but I don't think they have a decent chance of winning. They have a small chance. They might,
Mhm.
but Spain has been as far from the team they used to be about 10 years ago as well. Because the teams 10 years ago, Spain, Italy, and Spain. I already said Spain, Germany, Netherlands. Those teams were the primary powerhouses. They were really good. They were the teams that were usually going to at least the semifinals, quarterfinals. But Netherlands it's not that team that it used to be. Italy has gotten a lot better, but I don't think Italy is in this World Cup,
Yeah, they even make it.
which is the Europa League winner. Euro
Yeah.
winners don't even get into the World Cup is pretty pretty wow. But any team always has a chance no matter what.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, it's always like that. But you're always going to have those teams though that are just like France or Germany that just have like those players that are just amazing.
Right. I think I saw the odds of countries winning it all. Brazil was like number one favorite. I think they're ranked number one in the world. It's either them or like Argentina. And then England surprisingly was like ahead of France in terms of favorites to win it, which I thought was interesting.
Well, I think that they might be going off how the Euros went
Sure.
for like at least European
Right.
teams.
Which makes sense, yeah. With England being runner up.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean Brazil's crazy. Argentina's really good too. I mean Argentina won the Copa and
Yep.
they beat Italy on that Euro Copa matchup. Um, I think my teams. I mentioned it to like my fellow viewers, mentioned it to other people, but I have like 5 teams that I'm rooting for.
Hmm.
That being England, Argentina because of Messi, Portugal because of CR7, South Korea, and US. So those are like my teams that I want to do
Okay.
well. Yeah, and I feel out of them, like I think Argentina has the best chance of winning it.
Argentina's always they're a good team, but something always just lets them down in the end. It's shocking that like in our lifetime we still haven't seen them win one World Cup.
I feel like their kryptonite is Germany. They always lose to Germany for whatever reason.
I feel like
Yeah.
most of the South American teams lose to Germany.
Mm. Yeah. That's interesting, right? That is now that you point that out, because I feel like Germany, the way they play, they're so like fundamental and they're so disciplined and
Yes.
structured. But South Americans, they're more like flashy, a
Hmm.
little bit more individualistic, and like they're more
Where
flair. And I
where you
always
get
feel
the
like,
Germany players,
yeah,
they're very fundamental based. They play as a group and they
exactly,
figure and they more work off each other than how say Brazil where they have Neymar and all those players that like to do their skills, run on their own.
right, right, yeah. I mean, and I would usually always favor like a German type of team, like more disciplined, team
Mhm.
based, fundamental. I feel like those teams always do better than the individualistic, flashy flair players.
So I have a question for you. Who do you
Yeah,
think is going to win the Ballon d'Or?
I think Benzema. I would pick Benzema.
I am hoping for Benzema because
Yeah,
he had a crazy year.
yeah. They won La Liga. They won the Champions League. It's like, how can you not pick him? Like, who else is there? You could do Salah, but they didn't win. You know?
Like, but with Salah, like Son also was they Salah and Son were co Golden Boot
Yeah,
winners, and I think for like when it comes to the nominees, like oh my god, if Holland had a great year with not Dorm, yeah Dortmund, if he had a stacked year like Lewandowski or Benzema did, he could easily have been someone to have been nominated for the Ballon d'Or, especially with how he is killing it in the Premier League right
mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
2 back-to-back hat tricks, 9 goals, 5 games. The man is on fire.
Jennifer says Sadio Mane. What do you think about Sadio Mane?
Mane always has decent years, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe he is Ballon d'Or ready yet. He has
Mm.
not had, he's never had a standout season amongst, say other players in the world. Like he can always be in like a topic of discussion, like, oh, who do you think like, one of the best wingers there are in Europe or whatever. Mane can definitely is definitely a good shout because he's a good player, but
Yeah.
when you stack him against goal scorers, constant threats like Ronaldo was, Messi was, because both of them haven't been playing to their potential lately. But Lewandowski scoring absolute like double digit goals, even Son getting double digits, Salah getting double digit, Holland wrecking things. It's just stuff like that. Like even Modric is a nominee, I believe, but compare Mane to Modric's seasons. It's like Mane had a good season, but Modric had a fantastic season playing the midfield with even his age.
Mm-hmm.
Because Modric is like 35, 36 years old, and he is outperforming most of La Liga. He outperformed most of the teams,
Yeah.
and even Champions League.
Yeah.
And you saw with that group of players that even Real Madrid had when it came to La Liga and the Champions League, it's just like, wow, like each one of these players is playing phenomenally.
Mm-hmm.
But you definitely knew who the standout players were for the team. It was Benzema, Modric, Cruz, those more experienced players that even played better than all the young ones.
Yeah. So we mentioned some names. Benzema, Salah, Son, maybe Holland, Modric. Any other honorable mentions that you would put in the conversation?
Uh Lewandowski is always a good nominee. He
Yeah.
knows he knows where the goal is 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
He's literally the Polish Ibra. He really is. Because although he has a better attitude than Ibra, but Ibra's Ibra. He does what he wants.
Yeah.
Um, what have been some of the massive signings this year that have been? De Jong's always have a good season. Modric is a good nominee. Cruz is a good nominee. Vinny had a decent season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was nominated too. I don't remember. Um, you always got to get those goalkeepers in there like De Gea and Neuer.
Yeah.
They didn't have the best of seasons though. Neuer was all right. Courtois was definitely a nominee because of how he was in Champions League, making all those saves that
Right.
even up to the finals, he was making those saves that helped him win.
Right.
He was always making a crucial save.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, those are some good names. Who was it that won it last year? Was it Messi?
Who did win? I think it was Messi who won it last year. De Bruyne is also a good shout for
Right, De Bruyne.
Ballon
Yeah,
d'Or.
Yeah.
De Bruyne is a great midfielder. He's a great attacker.
Oh yeah.
He can defend when he needs to, but when it comes to shooting, passing, just his awareness on and off the ball is on another level.
Mm-hmm.
With Holland, with Lewandowski, their positionings, like players just like that, they know where they need to be, whether they're on the ball or off the ball, and it's just stuff like that that takes a player to a new level.
Mm-hmm. Steven, you're a Man U fan, right?
Yes.
They've been playing really well these past couple games. What are your thoughts
They
right
have.
now? And do you
So
think they have a chance of winning the Prem?
a chance at winning the Prem? No.
Okay.
No, that's I'm saying that right now. Man United not winning the Prem. As much as I would like to say it, no. These past few performances, they have not been pretty. They've gotten good results. We've gotten 3 wins, 3 straight wins. The best game by far we've played was against Liverpool that we won 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best game I think I've watched them play because they played a straight 90 minutes of just passion football. And that's all I've been asking for this Man United team. I haven't been asking for wins. I just want a team that wants to play. Because, the first 2 games, we lost 2-1 to Brighton. That was hard to watch, specifically mostly because we didn't even score the goal. It was an own goal. And they didn't even look like they wanted to play. The game after that, Brentford a 4-0 smashing, 4 goals in one half. I watched it, but it was difficult to watch because the players just did not look like they wanted to be there at all. There was no heart, no fight, nothing. And then, next game, Liverpool, after watching those 2 games, you're just like, this is going to be horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to get absolutely smashed.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you're a Man United supporter, you see that starting 11, you don't see Ronaldo starting, you're like, okay, We've done this before. We subbed him on. He might get something going. But at back, you don't see Maguire starting. And you're, as a Man United fan, you're like, wow, for once, Maguire's not starting in the back. Who knows? This actually might be different.
Yeah.
And, a few of our new signings are, Ericsson's been playing well. Malacia, Malacia, I can't remember how to pronounce his name at all. And I constantly hear it. Our new left back, he's been playing really well since he started against Liverpool. And I think it was those few changes, the change of formation, having Varane start with Martinez, those subtle changes spark something in the team to where, oh, look, everyone that's been having a problem with Maguire being captain and starting, he's now off the pitch on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a different captain. So I think like just those things help the team find a way or found that passion to where, all right, the manager's now making changes that they think was necessary. And that, I don't know what sparked them, but that Liverpool game was a complete 180 of what we saw in the first 2 weeks. Because that was a passionate team that wanted to play, wanted to score, wanted to win. And it was a lot different than the first 2 weeks that a Man United fan has witnessed, and even going back to that last 4 weeks of last season, because even the last handful of games for Man United at the tail end of the 2021-22 season were just not great. They were horrific.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't the team that you wanted to watch them win. And the very last game, Man United versus Crystal Palace, we lose 2-0. And it was just like a team that did like a Man United team, you just didn't know who they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now they have some form of identity to them.
Yeah.
And the past 2 games, Southampton and who did we just beat? Why can't I? Leicester. Both games ended 1-0. Southampton, we scored a goal in the 55th minute, and we played a solid football for 55 to 60 minutes. After that, Southampton took over and were pressuring United, but the defense held strong, and we kept the clean sheet. We kept the win.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes for Leicester. We scored a goal first half. We kept up the pressure for the rest of the remaining of the first half. Second half, Leicester comes out firing. They're doing well. They have the pressure. They're controlling the ball a little bit more. But again, the Man United defense holds strong. They get a few counters, but they just couldn't get that extra goal. And it's just like they're not playing pretty football. It's pretty ugly, but they're playing the way they need to do to get the result. And as a Man United supporter, it's amazing to see them get wins. It's what you want to see. Now, Man United just needs that refinement to make them better to where they can get that second goal. They're not relying on, defending the last 20 minutes of a game to, get that win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And De Gea has made a complete 180 from his abysmal performance against Brentford. How he gave up a goal and the ball went straight through his fingers and went into the net. I think after that, even he knew like he had to make a change. Otherwise, it was not going to be any better, especially when going against Liverpool. When when Liverpool has players like Luis Diaz, Salah, Firmino, players who are known to be able to shoot from outside the box and be constant goal threats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks for summing that all up. That was great. Wilson was saying the first time he ever turned off a United game was the Brentford one.
I did turn that game off, but I turned it back on for some reason. I turned it back on. I was like, look, I got nothing better to do. I don't feel like playing FIFA, so I'm gonna sit here and miserably watch.
And then Jennifer's saying, why you bring this up? I think she's talking about the Liverpool Man U game. Assuming that Jennifer's a Liverpool fan.
She's a Liverpool
Okay, got it.
She's a Liverpool. And the only reason why I bring it up is because that's the start of the consecutive wins.
Right.
We've picked up a bit of consistency since then. We've started every game very strong. It's just Liverpool game is the only one where we stood strong for almost the whole 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But these past two games, they were strong for only about half or a little bit more than half of the game, to where they need it for the whole 90 minutes, because that's how you see out a game. You don't just see it out by getting that goal and then sitting defensively for 30 minutes. See out the game, be strong, always have that pressure, at least for 75 minutes of the game. And with having to play a full 90 minutes, and their schedule right now, to where Man United played, I think Sunday, they played yesterday, and then they play Sunday again, to where they're playing 3 games in about 10-day spans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of football in about 10 days.
Right. So is are Man United in Europa? Did they have a spot in Europe again, or?
I think so.
Okay, because they didn't make the.
I think they did
League,
make
right?
it. No, they did not. I think they did make Europa by a cut. In all honesty, I hope that if they make it far in Europa, that's great. I kind of hope that they don't, just because I want them to focus more on just getting the team ready, league-wise, team ready, so that way we can contend for top 4. We can maybe push for a title in the next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping 2 to 3 years we can contend for the title for first place. But that's what I kind of want from my team. I want them to kind of rebuild, and then ease back into international play, to where we're playing in Europa, we're playing back in the Champions League, and we're not struggling to get out of a group, to where we're making it, maybe round of 16. We're making it at least the knockout stages.
Yeah. Who are the top teams you see winning the Prem this year?
Man City, for one, easily.
Does it hurt
Liverpool,
for you to say that?
it hurts, but it's so realistic to say
right.
Man City.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But Arsenal have been looking great. It would be great to see them, make Man City work for their win, for first place, because as of right now, Arsenal's sitting in first and Man City's sitting at second, 2 points behind. Early on in the season, that's great, but it is early on in the season, so anything can happen from now to May. I believe they play to May, April, something like that. So there's months to play yet. And Man United, I believe, if they can continue this form, I know they're not going to win every game,
Mm-hmm.
but if they can continue this consistency, at least, they're winning. If they win more, tie a few, they're definitely going to lose against Man City. I feel like we're going to lose this weekend against Arsenal, but hey, we'll see. Man United has an act for playing better against the top tier teams. Like Liverpool was the turnaround, so who knows? Arsenal might be one of those times where where the whole team brings it for more than 50 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Liverpool started out very, very weird. They did not start out the best that everyone thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how Liverpool progresses. Tottenham's been playing decently, but they play boring football. They really do, and they're lucky to have Harry Kane winning them these games. Mm-hmm. Chelsea does not have the capacity to win right now, not with the way they're playing. Leicester is just awful right now. They're 1 point out of 5 games, and it's not good. And it's not looking good for them, at least. But Leicester, I believe, will turn it around. They're not going to get relegated. I believe they'll finish probably top 10 in the Premier League, but I don't think they're going to be finishing top 5 or top 6.
Got it. For sure. So, that's an interesting outlook for the Prem. Obviously, with the addition of Haaland to Man City, that looks like the team to beat,
They really are, and
he feels like the missing piece. You know what I mean?
Honestly, he feels like that he was the missing piece for Man City, because if you have Haaland now, if you have him for Man City when they were in the Champions League, you're thinking Man City's winning it all. Man City is winning this because no one's stopping Haaland.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But Newcastle Newcastle was able to tie Man City. Granted, Newcastle was winning 3-1, and you're hoping that they keep the lead, but Holland being Holland just scores a goal, gets them that not motivation. What's that word? Well, motivation is the best way I kind of put it right now. Just it just drives the team, and they get that tying goal, and Man City almost wins it, but Newcastle holds out for that tie,
Yeah.
making Man City drop 3 points, which is amazing. But Newcastle's a team that Newcastle's a good team. They can do really well. They have a team. They finally got the money. Brighton has been playing pretty well. They've only conceded a few goals this season, not including their. Wait, actually, no. They've only conceded 1 goal, conceded 2 own goals, which is surprising. Fulham is looking decent. They're lucky to have Mitrovic scoring at least a goal a game for them right now. He's doing well for Fulham. They've been winning games. I think the only game they haven't won was against Arsenal that they just lost to 2-1, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, with the thing is, if Holland's continues this pace, right, of play for the entire season, and Man City wins league and they win Champions League, then he's probably gonna win Balloon, right?
Oh, by far. If he continues to score a goal a game, and he even has a few assists too, if he continues this form the whole season, I don't even think it would need Champions League for him to win it. Honestly, like Man City wins the EPL and he had a season like this. You gotta look from it from like an outside point of view. It's like you have to respect how Holland dominated the EPL because there's so many new players that come into the EPL first season. They think they're gonna do well, and they lay a goose egg for the first season. It takes the second season for them to really actually get something going. But for Holland, he's the first player in their first season of the Prem to score 9 goals in the first 5 games.
Who's second? Because he's probably leading the league, right? He has 9. Who's right behind him?
Right behind, I don't know who's right behind him in the league right now, but the second player to score almost as many was Aguero, striker for Man City.
Yeah.
8 goals in 5 games.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So clearly Man City has an act for choosing the correct strikers.
Yeah.
When it comes to it.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to shift gears a little bit, and I know it's been an hour of talking, and a great talk, by the way. So I wanted to ask you, what are your plans with streaming? What are your goals that you want to achieve, maybe going into 23 or, for the rest of this year?
I'm hoping by the end of the year I hit 500 followers on the base. I'm happy with my viewership right now.
Yeah.
My Discord channel has actually been gaining a lot more traction as well.
Yeah.
To where once I started streaming again, I only had about, I think, 20 people in my Discord. Now we're pushing 70.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So, doing what I can there. Hopefully in about a month and a half time, I have a new PC. I have a new PC to where I can go back to, editing my videos, putting them on TikTok, because I was able to do it once, but sadly my laptop just can't handle much anymore. It's able to do everything I need it to do for now, but I can't really video edit at a decent enough pace, or efficiently, I should say. Where I was able to do a few videos for TikTok, and these just turned out really well. I got people who are seeing me. People seeing me means that they notice I'm a streamer, or they come on TikTok, not TikTok. They come on Twitch, they follow, or they watch, something to help me gain traction. So I'm hoping by once I get a new PC, I'll be able to continue editing videos, putting myself out there more, especially when it comes to Twitter. I do need to do Twitter more. I don't do it enough or
Yeah.
at all, really. I definitely do need to do Twitter more, get myself more out there, get myself out there with, doing more TikTok videos and just things like that. Hopefully, I can be able to do all that in the next few months. Stream FIFA 23 wise, I plan on hitting the ground running when it comes to FIFA 23. I know, sadly, again, I have to focus on school much more than I can focus on
Right.
streaming because school has to be top priority before I stream, before I play video games.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the first week of FIFA 23 being out, I want to try and push out a 24-hour stream actually,
Oh,
just
okay.
dedicated to FIFA. Like, because I know for I think maybe after the first, because during the first week of FIFA, there's no weekend league. It's not open till I think the second weekend
Yeah.
that the new FIFA's out. So I might hold off on the 24-hour stream, but maybe a 12-hour stream in that first week.
Sure.
Of just constant grinding FIFA, getting a team that can push weekend league, just all that stuff. Because with FIFA 23 coming out, everyone's going to be streaming it.
Right. It's gonna
And
be
it's
so
gonna be-
saturated.
And it's going to be up to me, you, Johnny, the smaller streamers who have been doing, have been gaining a lot of traction recently. It's not going to be gameplay specifically that these people are going to be coming, like our loyal viewers are going to be coming to watch. They're coming to watch us.
Right.
But for the newer viewers, you don't feel like constantly watching big time streamers like Nick 2018. I don't like saying his name though. Run the Foot Market.
Mhm.
I don't know if Nepenthes even streams. Who am I? Why can't I think of his name? One of the biggest FIFA streamers.
Castro.
Yes, Castro.
Uh-huh.
Castro, Slayback, streamers like that who
Yeah.
always have 1,000, 2,000, viewers.
Yeah.
Maybe someone doesn't want to watch them. Maybe they want to watch, somebody who has like a smaller community,
Right.
somewhere where they can type in chat and actually talk to the streamer, not to where if they type in chat, they'll be lucky enough for anyone to actually read it.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, it's it's up to us, the smaller streamer to, show that strong personality, show who we are, who our community is.
Yeah.
And, just keeping those, people who want to watch us, keeping them in there.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And I know you've been growing these past 2 months or, ever since you started. So I want you to keep growing, man. Hit that goal 500. Maybe we could get to 1K before 2023.
So far, I've been able to hit at least a goal a month. So hopefully for September, I can hit that 300 follower goal and then, just follow from there.
For sure. Absolutely. One step at a time. So where could people find you, Valhalla? Your Twitch and your social medias?
Luckily, everything is my username for everything for Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter is all Valhallarevenant. It's all the same thing, all the same username, Valhallarevenant for each and every social media that I'm on.
But then Twitch is Valhallarevenant 1, right?
Yes.
Okay,
because
so that's the only
sadly
difference.
Valhallarevenant has already been taken, so I had to add a 1 at the end of it.
You gotta talk to that guy, pay him off or something.
It'd be funny to actually. You know what? I'll see if I can DM him and be like, "Yo, can I have my name?"
I'll pay you like $5.
I'll gift you a sub.
Right. Yeah, so those are the links for his content, so check that out. I'll leave it in the description below. Wilson, thank you. It was a great convo indeed. Narek, I see you, man. Appreciate you stopping by and everybody else coming through. Jennifer, Kane, Sniper, I appreciate every single one of you tuning in.
Definitely. Thank you everyone for being here. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to say before we head out, Vala?
It's Friday. Everyone have a great Friday. Be safe. but also have fun. Always be wary of those around you. Start of a weekend, so might as well start it with a great Friday and end it till the end of Sunday.